Hi, welcome to this week's Headlines. I'm Keith Kam. Let's get started with the highlights. Pakatan Rakyat no longer exists. Pakatan Rakyat is dead. So say DAP Secretary General Lim Guan and PKR President Datuk Seri Azizah Ismail. All this because of the split between PAS and DAP stemming from the Islamic Party's insistence on pushing ahead with implementing hudud law. Meanwhile, adding to the confusion, PKR Deputy President Azmin Ali says otherwise. Tun Dr Mahathir Mohamad is not only blogging about his unhappiness with Prime Minister Datuk Seri Najib Razak, he has given an interview with the New York Times. In it, he talks about Najib, Rosmah, 1MDB, Rohingyas, and the whole issue with what Muslim gymnasts should or shouldn't wear. This week marks the start of the Muslim holy month of Ramadan around the world. For the next month, Muslims will observe the fourth pillar of Islam, fasting from dawn to dusk. To all our Muslim friends, Salam Ramadhan al-Mubarak. I can say that in Selangor, right? And now for the main story of the week, the recent case of the oil tanker being hijacked. Has that ship sailed? Let's find out. It's been about a week since the MT Orkin Harmony was hijacked on her way from Malacca to Kuantan. The vessel was carrying 6,000 metric tons of RON 95 petrol worth 21 million ringgit and 22 crew members, 16 of whom are Malaysians, 5 Indonesians and 1 Myanmar national. It went missing in the South China Sea, somewhere off the east coast of Johor. And so began a search in the area. The Malaysian Maritime Enforcement Agency, the Royal Malaysian Navy, and the Royal Australian Air Force eventually found the tanker in Cambodian waters. However, it appears the tanker has been renamed with several letters painted over. It is now called the Kim Harmon. At least it's not the Kim Kardashian or Kim Jong-un. However, in the latest development, the Malaysian Navy has confirmed the 8 pirates have jumped ship and escaped. Navy Chief Admiral Tan Sri Abdul Aziz Jaafar says the hijackers sailed off on one of Orkin Harmony's rescue boat, leaving behind the 22 crew members. All 22 of them are believed to be unharmed. The tanker will now be pulled back to Kuantan port, this time accompanied by 4 Navy ships and 2 Super Lynx helicopters. Until now, it is not clear what has happened to the 6,000 metric tons of petrol it was carrying, but everyone is glad. The crew are safely released, but this begs the question, how rampant is piracy in our waters? Actually, a lot more than you imagine. We think that a lot of it occurs off the coast of Somalia in the western part of the Indian Ocean. That's thanks to the Captain Phillips movie. Good one. Do you realize that since the start of this year, more than half of the world's piracy incidents happen right here in our own backyard?
The global center of maritime piracy has shifted from here, the Somalian coast in the Gulf of Aden, to here, in the area of western Indonesia. These waters, including the Malacca Straits, the Singapore Straits, and the southern end of the South China Sea, are the busiest commercial shipping lanes in the world. Almost half of the world's pirate attacks happened here in the Singapore Strait or Indonesia in 2013. About 9 times as many attacks as took place last year in the waters off Somalia and the Gulf of Aden.
According to the International Maritime Bureau, most of these attacks are carried out by armed gangs targeting small coastal tankers to steal their cargoes of fuel. It is not surprising given that as much as 80% of oil that China and Japan import has to pass by the Malacca Strait onto the South China Sea before heading up north. Now, the International Maritime Bureau, they believe hijackers in Southeast Asia are not interested in kidnap and ransom, unlike their Horn of Africa counterparts. The target over here has always been cargo. Armed pirates will board the target ship after sundown, destroy all comms equipment, tie up the crew, and siphon off the fuel. All this will be done before the sun rises. Now, in the case of Orkin Harmony, Home Minister Datuk Seri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi believes it could even have been an inside job. He also insists sea piracy doesn't exist in this region, thanks to constant air patrols by Malaysia, Thailand, Singapore, and Indonesia. Yet, so knowing all these facts and statistics, what is being done right now? A multilateral agreement between 16 countries in Asia was concluded in November 2004. The Regional Cooperation Agreement on Combating Piracy and Armed Robbery against Ships in Asia now has 20 countries as signatories. The 20 countries include the 8 ASEAN members whose coastlines are affected. 8. ASEAN has 10, minus Indonesia and Malaysia. Why? A South China Morning Post editorial suggests Malaysia objects because the operational headquarters is in Singapore. For Indonesia, sovereignty is an issue. The agreement also has other shortcomings. Member nations are not allowed to seize pirate ships in other states' territorial waters. Provisions are mostly limited to information sharing. The South China Sea remains a very dynamic region, yet extremely important to the planet's trade. So, a solution needs to be found by all parties concerned. National pride, real or imagined, must be balanced with international security. Now, we are glad that this incident ended without the loss of innocent lives, but how long before our luck runs out? Malaysia is currently chairing ASEAN, so maybe we can do something about it, along with the Rohingya issue, maybe? Thanks for joining me on this week's Headlines. Tell us what you think in the comment box below. Till next time, have a fabulous week ahead.